Princess Diana was known to the world not because of royal jewelry, but as one of the most influential and widely discussed women of her time, even though those jewels became part of her public image. She also wore pieces that belonged to the crown and were given to her for use by Queen Elizabeth II, including legendary tiaras such as the Cambridge Lover's Knot Tiara, the Cambridge Emerald Choker, and other historic jewels of the British monarchy. But alongside this, there was a completely different collection, far more personal. It was formed in parallel with the royal heirlooms, yet it seemed to live its own life. Some pieces were wedding gifts from foreign monarchs and remained her personal property. Others were specially commissioned for her, gifted by friends, lent by acquaintances, or personally purchased. Especially during the period when her life began to change after the separation in 1992 and the divorce in 1996. An especially intimate chapter of this story includes gifts from Dodi Fayed, with whom Diana spent the final months of her life. Among them, according to reports, were pieces of jewelry that added an even more private layer to her personal collection. After her death on August 31, 1997, most of this private collection was passed to Princes William and Harry, according to a letter of wishes attached to her will, with the hope that one day these pieces would be worn by their future wives. Some items were not her property at all, only borrowed pieces, later returned to their rightful owners. And part of this story remains forever tied to that night in Paris, ending in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, where some of her belongings were recovered. And through all of this, we can see a different Diana, not a symbol, not a title, but a woman slowly reclaiming her own voice even in the smallest details of her life. And today, we explore her private jewelry collection and the stories hidden behind the sparkle of each piece. Please subscribe to the channel. It truly means a lot. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious to know how you felt about this story. The Attallah cross. The cross is almost comically large for a piece of jewelry. Roughly 5.4 inches tall and nearly 4 inches wide, made by Gerard around 1920 as a private one-off commission. A fleury-style pendant set with square-cut amethysts in a diamond frame, mounted in gold and silver. It was created for an unnamed client, returned to Gerard's stock, and eventually purchased in the 1980s by a man named Attallah, a Palestinian-born publisher who ran Osprey and Gerard. Attallah and Diana became personal friends. She would visit him at Gerard's Regent Street headquarters, the kind of easy, private errand that rarely makes the newspapers, and asked to borrow the cross. He always said yes. On the 27th of October, 1987, she wore it publicly for the only confirmed time, at a birthright charity gala held at Gerard itself. She paired it with a Catherine Walker evening gown in deep purple and black baroque velvet, the dramatic ruffled collar framing her face. And instead of suspending the cross on a chain, she looped it through one of her own waist-length pearl ropes. It was an act of pure, confident styling, unexpected, slightly theatrical, and completely her own idea. She borrowed it privately many more times, according to Sotheby's, but no other photograph of her wearing it is known to exist. The gala image is the only one. After Diana died in August 1997, Naim put the cross away. His son Ramsey has described it sitting on the family Christmas table in the years that followed, present, visible, but not worn by anyone. When Naim died in February 2021, Ramsey consigned it to Sotheby's London. In January 2023, at estimate of £80,000 to £120,000, it sold for £163,800 after a 5-minute bidding war between 5 buyers. The winner was Kim Kardashian, who wore it publicly for the first time at the LACMA Art Plus Film Gala in Los Angeles in November 2024. Diana never owned it, but she made it famous. The Saudi Sapphire Suite, Asprey, 1981. When Crown Prince Fahd of Saudi Arabia wanted to mark Diana's wedding to Prince Charles in July 1981, he did not send a token gift. He commissioned a full parure from Asprey, a sapphire and diamond pendant on a diamond Riviere necklace, matching pendant earrings, a ring, a sapphire bracelet, and a watch with a large oval sapphire set in a sunburst of diamonds. The stones were chosen with purpose, large oval Burmese sapphires, selected to complement the 12-carat oval Ceylon sapphire already on her engagement ring. Diana wore the suite for the first time at a National Film Institute dinner at the Royal Festival Hall in December 1981. The necklace accompanied her to Australia in 1983 and on tours throughout the decade. The earrings became a near-constant presence in her public wardrobe. What matters now is the fate of each piece. After Diana's death, the suite passed to her sons. Around 2010, as William prepared to propose to Catherine Middleton, using Diana's sapphire engagement ring, he gave Catherine the matching sapphire and diamond pendant earrings. She had them remounted into a drop style and first wore them at Queen Elizabeth's Diamond Jubilee celebrations in 2012. She has worn them dozens of times since, always pairing them with the engagement ring, the two sapphires completing a set that Diana first received 40 years ago. The diamond Riviere necklace, the bracelet, and the watch have stayed in William and Harry's possession. None of them have been seen in public since 1996. The modern sapphire choker, the Vatan bandeau. This is the most inventive thing Diana ever did with jewelry. At some point in the mid-1980s, she received a truly extraordinary gift from a sheikah of the United Arab Emirates, a Vatan Constantine Lady Kala wristwatch, a one-of-a-kind creation, every surface pave set with 132 emerald-cut diamonds totaling nearly 30 carats. A watch so extraordinary it couldn't simply stay on a wrist and tell the time. Diana didn't wear it as a watch for long. She had a pear-shaped sapphire of unknown origin added at the center and mounted the entire diamond construction on a band of midnight blue velvet, backed with Velcro, to be worn as a choker. And then, at a state banquet hosted by Emperor Hirohito at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo in 1986, she wore it as a forehead band. The bandeau, once the exclusive territory of 1920s bright young things and now entirely absent from the wardrobes of working royals, suddenly reappeared on the most photographed woman in the world. International press photographers were visibly startled. The photographs ran everywhere. By the mid-1990s, she had refashioned it again, replacing the velvet with sapphire beads and repositioning the Saudi sapphire ring at its center. This version appeared at a Concert of Hope at the Cardiff International Arena in 1995. It was the choker's final known public appearance. Since 1997, it has been in William and Harry's possession. Like the seven-strand pearl choker, it has never been exhibited or loaned for display. The Asprey aquamarine ring, the divorce ring. Some pieces are attached to specific chapters of a life. The aquamarine ring is unmistakably a post-divorce piece. Made in 1996, the year everything was finally settled. The stone at its heart is an emerald-cut aquamarine. Valuers at Steven Stone have placed it at around 30 carats, flanked by two small diamond solitaires, set in 24-carat yellow gold. The gold was chosen deliberately, to match a 5-strand pearl bracelet Diana already owned. The aquamarine itself was a gift from Lucia Flecker de Lima, wife of the Brazilian ambassador, widely described as a second mother to Diana during the worst of the separation years. Diana had it set into a ring by Hairspray. She wore it twice in public. The first time was on the 31st of October, 1996 in Sydney, at a fundraising gala for the Victor Chan Cardiac Research Institute. A bright electric blue Versace gown, the matching aquamarine clasp pearl bracelet on her wrist, the new ring very much present, very much visible. The second time was at the private viewing for her own Christie's dress auction in London, June 1997. Two months later she was dead. The ring passed to Prince Harry, who gave it to Meghan Markle. She wore it on the evening of her wedding day, the 19th of May 2018, with her Stella McCartney reception dress, driving from Windsor to Frogmore House. She has worn it since Tonga, October 2018. The Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Gala, December 2022. Stephen Stone has valued it at around £85,000. Lucia Flecker de Lima, who gave Diana the stone, died in April 2017 in Brasilia, aged 76. The Dismoy OUI ring by Repossi. There is no piece in the private collection that carries heavier freight than this one. And the most honest thing to say about it is that almost nothing about it is certain. On the evening of the 30th of August, 1997, the last evening of Diana's life, Dodi Fade collected a ring from the Place Vendôme Paris store of Italian jeweler Alberto Repossi. It was from the Dismoy OUI collection, Tell Me Yes, a line of 1930s inspired cocktail rings. This particular piece had an emerald-cut central diamond surrounded by 4 triangle-cut diamonds in a star formation, the band itself pave-set with small diamonds. Press reports at the time placed the price at around £11,600, though early coverage wildly inflated this figure. The story of how the ring was obtained is contested. Repossi himself initially claimed Diana and Dodi had visited his Monte Carlo branch 10 days before the crash and personally chosen it. The Operation Paget inquest heard a different version from Claude Roulette, assistant to the president of the Ritz. Roulette had selected 2 rings on Dodi's behalf and brought them to the hotel. Dodi chose this one. Diana, Roulette testified, never visited the shop at all. Operation Paget's conclusion was careful. Diana was not wearing the ring when she and Dodi left the Ritz that night. The investigation could not confirm or deny that a proposal had taken place. Her friends and family told investigators she had not mentioned anything of the kind. After the crash, the ring was found at Dodi's apartment on Rue Arsène Houssaye. It went to his father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, who paid Repossi's outstanding invoice and eventually displayed it as part of the Innocent Victims Memorial inside Harrods in 2005. Al-Fayed died in August 2023. The ring's current whereabouts are not publicly disclosed. Repossi discontinued the entire Dismoy OUI line after the crash and destroyed the molds. A ring that might have meant everything. Might have meant nothing. Nobody alive knows for certain. The Bulgari pieces. In the final weeks of her life, Diana received a number of gifts from Dodi Fade. 2 pieces were documented as Bulgari, and both were on her body the night she died. The first was a small yellow-gold Bulgari ring set with diamonds, a band valued at around £3,000. Diana was photographed wearing it on her right ring finger on the 30th of August, 1997, the same evening she and Dodi left for the Ritz. Her butler Paul Burrell later stated she had called it, plainly, a friendship ring, not an engagement ring. Whatever was or wasn't planned for that evening, this piece she understood clearly. The second was a strand of seed pearls clasped at each end with diamond-set gold dragon heads, a Bulgari bracelet, delicate and very fine. It was on her wrist when the Mercedes hit the pillar at the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. The crash destroyed it. French police recovered 6 loose white pearls from the floor and the back seat. Both pieces, along with the gold kidney bean stud earrings she was wearing, one recovered from the hospital, the other found lodged in the dashboard 6 weeks later, were returned to the Spencer family. None of them have been publicly displayed or mentioned in any exhibition since. The 7-strand pearl and sapphire choker, built around the Queen Mother's wedding gift brooch. Although the central stone was a wedding gift, this choker is a Diana piece in every meaningful sense. She designed it herself by remounting an inherited jewel. The Queen Mother gave Diana a very large oval sapphire surrounded by diamonds as a brooch in 1981. Diana wore it as a brooch only briefly, most famously on the 1982 Dutch state visit, before having it converted into the clasp of a magnificent choker of 7 graduated strands of pearls. This was the Diana power jewel. She wore it dancing with John Travolta at the Reagan White House, November 1985, paired it with the black revenge dress by Christina Stambolian at the Serpentine Gallery on the 29th of June, 1994. The night Prince Charles confessed his adultery on television and wore it for her last great public fashion outing, the Met Gala in New York in December 1996. Despite being assembled around a royal family gift, it was treated as her personal property. After 1997, it passed to William and Harry. It has not been worn publicly or exhibited since the 1996 Met Gala. There is persistent speculation that the 2 flanking diamonds in Meghan Markle's 3-stone engagement ring, designed by Harry in 2017, with a Botswana center stone, came from this choker. Harry has only confirmed that the side diamonds came from my mother's jewelry collection. The diamond tennis bracelet. The tennis bracelet is quintessentially of its moment, a clean, modern row of brilliant cut diamonds in a single line, the kind of piece that reads as confident understatement. Diana bought it in the mid-1990s, a period when her aesthetic was deliberately stripping back. Fewer royal loans, more personal choices, more contemporary luxury. She was wearing it at the Christie's pre-auction party in June 1997, along with the aquamarine ring and pearl earrings, pieces she was clearly not ready to part with, even as 7 to 9 of her gowns went under the hammer for charity. It passed to Harry. Meghan Markle has worn it, most visibly during her and Harry's March 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey, where it sat quietly on her wrist through what became one of the most watched television events of the year. whether any diamonds from the bracelet were later used as the flanking stones in Meghan's engagement ring. Harry has said only that the side stones came from Diana's collection, has never been confirmed. The Spencer tiara. For all the interest surrounding Diana's private jewellery, the most important point about the Spencer tiara is what it was not. It was never hers, and it was never the crown's. Gerard remodelled and expanded it in 1937 for Diana's grandmother Cynthia, Lady Spencer, joining older family elements into a single cohesive design, including pieces from a tiara left to Lady Sarah Spencer in 1875, and a centerpiece gifted by Lady Sarah Spencer to Cynthia at her 1919 wedding. The design is a flowing garland of tulips, star flowers, and scrolling foliage in diamonds set in silver on gold, centered on a heart motif. Diana borrowed it from her father, the 8th Earl Spencer, for her wedding on the 29th of July, 1981. Both her sisters had worn it for their own weddings before her, Jane in 1978, Sarah in 1980. After Diana, her sister-in-law Victoria Lockwood wore it in 1989, and niece Celia McCorquodale in 2018. It has been a Spencer family wedding tiara for nearly 50 years, and it has always stayed in the family. On the 8th Earl's death, it passed to his son Charles, the 9th Earl Spencer, who is its current custodian. It will eventually pass to his son Louis, Viscount Althorpe. Despite years of newspaper speculation, neither Princess Charlotte nor Princess Lilibet is in line to inherit it. It is not a royal piece, has never been a royal piece, and will remain at Althorpe. It was last publicly exhibited at Sotheby's London in 2022, in the Power and Image, Royal and Aristocratic Tiaras exhibition. Where everything went. Diana left an estate of approximately £21 million. 3/4 went to William and Harry. The remainder was divided among her 17 godchildren. A separate letter of wishes, attached to her will, asked her executors to hold her personal jewellery for her sons to give to their future wives. That is, more or less, what happened. According to Burrell, William chose his mother's Cartier Tank Française watch as his personal keepsake. Harry chose the Gerard sapphire and diamond engagement ring. When William decided to propose to Catherine Middleton in 2010, Harry voluntarily exchanged his ring for the watch, so that Catherine could have it. Burrell described it as Harry giving away the one thing he had kept. The result is visible. Catherine wears the sapphire engagement ring, the Saudi sapphire pendant earrings remounted as drops, and the Nigel Milne 3-strand pearl bracelet, a quiet 1988 commission Diana wore constantly, most often with her Elvis Catherine Walker gown. Catherine has worn the bracelet in Germany, on diplomatic visits, at formal engagements across a decade of royal life. Meghan wears the Osprey aquamarine ring, the diamond and sapphire butterfly earrings first photographed on Diana's 1986 Canadian visit, and the diamond tennis bracelet. The two flanking diamonds in her engagement ring, set beside a Botswana center stone Harry chose himself, came from Diana's collection, From which specific piece, he has never publicly said. Several pieces remain in the brothers' private possession, unworn since 1997. The seven-strand pearl and sapphire choker. The Vatan diamond bandeau, the diamond Riviere necklace from the Saudi suite. A handful of minor pieces have surfaced at auction. A silver D pendant from Diana's teenage years sold for around $8,000 in 2017. The Attallah cross sold to Kim Kardashian for £163,800 in January 2023. And somewhere, location currently undisclosed, a Repossi ring with an emerald-cut diamond sits in a private collection, its story still not entirely told.